Welcome to the Literature Review for African Americans Part 2 for Historical Colonization and Economic Profile. Let's begin. African slaves first arrived in 1619 by a Dutch ship which sold 19 blacks as indentured servants to Englishmen at Point Comfort, which is today known as Fort Monroe, 30 miles downstream of Jamestown, Virginia. African slaves and indentured servants were brought to the U.S. colonies to provide cheap labor. Colonies replaced indentured servants with slavery because slavery was much profitable. Also, as slaves, African American occupations were laborers and house servants. In 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, and in 1865, all slaves were free, with ratification of the 13th Amendment. Other litigation followed: Civil Rights Act, 14th Amendment that repealed Dred Scott decision and made full blacks U.S. citizens, African Americans fought in the Civil War, mainly with the Union Army, filling relief roles for the Union Army. African Americans were spies, scouts for the Union Army. In 1866, Congress recognized the Army and authorized the formation of two regiments of black cavalry, the 19th and 10th, and two regiments of black infantry, the 24th and the 25th, that initially served mainly in the West and Southwest. The most famous unit during the war was the 369th Infantry Regiment, formed in 1913 as the 15th New York National Guard Regiment, and marched into service in 1917. African Americans had to endure segregation with an act of the Jim Crow laws, which were state and local segregation laws. An act from 1876 to 1965 were passed to separate black and whites in as many aspects of life, such as bathrooms, theaters, diners, and education. In response to the Jim Crow laws was the National Afro-American Council, NAAC, was formed in 1898 by Alexander Waiters. Journalists, lawyers, and education, politicians, and community activists will meet annually to discuss how to respond to discrimination against blacks in the black community. The Civil Rights Movement characterized campaigns of civil resistance between 1915 and 1968, secure for African American equal access and opportunity for basic privileges, rights of U.S. citizens. Key members of the Civil Rights Movement were Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and Martin Luther King, just to name a few. Key results of the Civil Rights Movement: Civil Rights Act, which outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, and sex for national origin. Voting Rights Act, which prohibited racial discrimination in voting. Civil Rights Act of 1968, nicknamed Fair Housing Act, provide equal housing opportunities regardless of race. Economic profile. From 2014 census, there is 45.7 million African Americans in the United States. Among 45 million African Americans, 14.3% of the total American population of 318.9 million is black. Here are the 10 cities that has 1,000 or more total population and the highest percentage of blacks of African Americans. New York, Detroit, Michigan, 84.3%. Jackson, Mississippi, 80.1%. Gardens, Florida, 77.9%. Birmingham, Alabama, 74%. Baltimore, Maryland, 65.1%. Memphis, Tennessee, 64.1%. New Orleans, Louisiana, 61.2%. Flint, Michigan, 59.5%. Montgomery, Alabama, 57.4%. Savannah, Georgia, 56.7%. And many of the blacks that live in these cities live in the metropolitan areas of the city, which are the low poverty areas of the city, of each city. African American owned businesses have increased to 60.5% in the United States. 96% of African American owned farms are made up of sole partnership or partnership with no paid employees. African American owned businesses operate in healthcare, social assistance, repair, maintenance, and laundry service sectors. The states that account for African American owned businesses are District of Columbia, account for 28.2% of African American owned businesses, which lead the nation. Georgia, where 20.4% of businesses were owned by African Americans, and Maryland, where 16.9% of business, 19.3% of the business were owned by African Americans.